remain open with a mandatory requirement to wear face coverings when entering and
I've got to mute this nonsense because that's all it is. Scotland have just announced a whole new load of measures of lockdown, and it's just a contradictory farce. They've just announced that places of worship will remain open. Churches will remain open in the middle of this pandemic. One of the places where people congregate very closely, they remain open. But pubs and restaurants are going to be, some of them are going to be shutting. Retail is allowed to stay open. Sporting venues have to close. It's just an absolute inconsistent bunch of nonsense. I just don't get it. I really don't get it. How they think that locking down a restaurant after a certain time of night is going to be beneficial, and yet not locking down churches is fine. It's fine, absolutely fine. And how sporting venues have to close, and yet retail is remaining open. So, you know, those really, really busy supermarkets, those really busy shopping centres where people are mingling and buying clothes, and it's just ridiculous. The only way to get over this is to look at what Sweden are doing and just let life go on. Because the more times that these countries lock down their economy and their people, they're increasing the instance of mental health issues in the future and in the present. They are increasing the risk of families losing their jobs, losing their livelihood, their careers. Yes, I know that people might be saved by this, but ultimately, if COVID's going to kill you, it's going to kill you. If you have pre-existing conditions, you shouldn't be out and about. You should be safeguarding yourself indoors. And if you have family and relatives who should be safeguarding, then you need to take precautions when you go and see them. But controlling people in this way is just not going to work. It's not working. The rates in the UK are rising steadily, whilst yes, in some parts of Sweden, they're also rising. The cases are rising very slightly, but nowhere near as much as the rest of Europe, who keep locking down, unlocking, locking down, unlocking. And I just don't know how long this farce can continue for. I mean, listening to her on the TV, it's just an absolute joke. Let's see. In fact, sorry, this is Northern Ireland now. Ireland's locking down as well. What else are they saying?
To exit these arrangements most carefully, they will be put in place during Friday of this week and will be there for 4 weeks.
So they're doing all of this for 4 weeks. What is the advantage in that? Well, yes, okay, maybe their admissions into hospital are increasing, and by locking down for 4 weeks, it might help a little bit, but not a lot in reality, because if you do have COVID, you're going to pass it on to somebody that you're next to in a shopping centre during those 4 weeks. So it's not really going to curb the spread, is it? It just seems like such a ridiculous farce. And I'm watching this from outside the UK. I think, although I see a massive attitude change in Brits, I see a massive attitude change. People are starting to get pissed off with this now. People are stopping the support for all of this. And people are starting to say, we are adults. Let us make our own minds up. Let us safeguard ourselves if we are in the risk group. Let us safeguard the people in the risk group, our friends and family and relatives, by being careful when we go near them. I just see the economy plummeting over there in the UK. I see the stock markets that I've invested in the past dying. Cineworld, the biggest cinema chain, I believe, in the UK, is now closing cinemas and potentially permanently closing them. Movie companies are releasing straight to digital format. That means that we may not have cinemas in the future. You know, the days of going to a cinema may be long past us now if this continues and our physical cinemas all shut down. I just had to have a little rant about this. I find it so depressing. I really do, because whilst we're getting on with our lives over here and our careers and our livelihoods and sustaining our families and our futures, I'm just seeing Brits, my friends, my families, losing their jobs, being cut down in their hours, not able to even consider going on holiday in the future because they don't know if they'll have a job tomorrow. It's bloody horrible, and I'm sick of seeing it. And I wish they'd just let the public make their own minds up, because they're adults. And ridiculous. Anyway, comment below with your thoughts. I just find this so depressing, guys.